You're welcome to the Messiah channel. We are an end time channel. In this message, we are asking a question: is Agenda 2030 on course? We are also saying that Lucifer and his agents know time is up. You live in a house, you are renting the house is not for you, and rent is due, you haven't paid your rent, or even if you have paid your rent, the landlord is coming and he has given you an eviction notice. The Lord has given Satan and Lucifer and his agents an eviction notice. The owner of the world is coming to take possession of the world. The eviction notice has already been decreed. And if you read the book of Revelation, the angel told Apostle John that don't seal the book because time is up. So in the spiritual realm, Lucifer knows that his time is up, and the agents of Lucifer also know that their time is up. The agents of Lucifer have set a date, 2030, and they're very particular about the date or the time 2030, because they have to finish their assignment for Lucifer before 2030. So if you read so many documents, so many policies, when they are talking at the United Nations, the World Bank, even when they are talking about, in Congress of the United States, when they are talking in secret meetings behind the scenes, they mention 2030. I've done a video about 2030. It's a satanic date that has been set, and a lot of things have to be completed by the year 2030. It's the agenda on course. I was watching a video by Christopher Green, AMTV, and he said that there are plans that a war between US and China is scheduled by 2026. I'm not saying whether it is true or false, but when people are talking about a potential war between the two largest economies in the world, United States and China, then you're talking about an agenda. If they are mentioning a year, 2026, for this war between US and China, then you know that Agenda 2030 is on course. I also watched another video by a channel named Israeli News, Stephen Ben Noon, and he also was indicating that China even has plans to invade Taiwan by November of 2022. And when we're talking about November 2022, we're talking about the time for the midterm elections in the United States. And will the US be able to retaliate against China if China is to take Taiwan by force in November 2022 or any other time? In the news, we also hear or read that North Korea has petitioned Russia that it wants to send 1,000 soldiers to Ukraine to help Russia fight the Ukrainian war. And so we see a joint North Korea-Russian alignment. We also see a joint Russia-Iranian alignment, and we also see a close alignment between China and Russia. And so it's happening now, way ahead of the deadline 2030. The founding fathers of the United States had a mission, and the agents of Lucifer know the mission, the agenda that they had when they wrote the Constitution of the United States and when they set up the government of the United States. And their mission is clearly stated on the dollar bill. If you read the dollar bill, you see the inscription Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order. And there's another Latin word on top of that. It means the initiation of the New World Order. And definitely they had deadlines for that New World Order. And getting close to the end of days. 1990, Bush #1 publicly declared the New World Order. And as you are aware, Bush #1 was a member of a secret society called Skull and Bones that was founded on the campus of Yale University. The New World Order agenda was also continued by Bush #2 when he invaded certain countries. You remember what happened in Iraq. So the agenda is still on. The 2030 agenda is on course. Bush is gone. Bush #1, Bush #2, they are no longer in the White House, but there's somebody else who is in the White House. It's very interesting that the New World Order is supported both by Republican presidents and also Democratic presidents. And you saw what the President Biden said, that the United States will support the New World Order. And he's saying it. He came to power in 2020. He's saying the United States will support the New World Order. President Biden is aware of the date, 2030. He's supporting the New World Order, and he also initiated a process of researching how a cashless society will be implemented, or a system of cashless economy will be implemented in the United States. And I believe that the Central Bank of the United States and the central banks of many nations in the world will support a cashless society that will be initiated will support an initiative by the United States. 2020 is a date for them to accomplish so many things that they have to do. And I believe that a strong United States will be a hindrance to the 2030 agenda. And I believe that efforts probably will be made to weaken the United States. And so you will not, or you should not be surprised that the U.S. is potentially facing a crisis with Russia, and the U.S. is also actually facing a crisis with China at the same time, and the U.S. is also planning to face a crisis with North Korea at the same time. Will the United States be able to confront three crises that will have an impact on its military capabilities, military strategies, and even the U.S. own survival? We also see the fire boiling, the waters boiling, the fire burning, with the raid or the search on the residence of the President of the United States. As you are aware, the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States prohibits unlawful searches and seizures intrusion into people's privacy, people's homes, and the search that was executed on Mar-a-Lago residence of President Donald Trump has triggered a lot of reaction, even anger from the supporters of Donald Trump, and some of them are threatening civil disobedience. You saw what happened when a Trump supporter even went to the headquarters of, went to the building of the FBI, I believe in Ohio, and he was gunned down. Is there going to be provocation or a false flag event that will result in the government taking guns from people as a way of controlling extremism? If that happens, it means that people will be disarmed, and at that point, the United States will be weakened, and at that point, so many things can happen. You remember people are even talking about a day when there will be crisis in the United States, and forces from the United Nations will come and be peacekeepers on the soil of the United States. So is Agenda 2030 on course? Lucifer and his agents know time is up. Time is up. When we're talking about the world, anything that has beginning has an end. And as I'm talking to you today, I remind you of the vision that I had on August 27, 2013. It's a long time, but I remember where I was on a field, and as I turned around trying to look at who was behind me, I saw somebody wearing a white dress apparel, and he said, "You must look for the angel who sounded the seventh trumpet." And so time is up. The angels of the Lord know that time is up. Lucifer and his angels also know that time is up. And for Lucifer and his angels, those who are controlling governments, those who are controlling courthouses, those who are in the military, those who control the world economy, and those who meet behind the scenes in secret societies, they know their time is up, and they have an agenda to depopulate the world. They have an agenda to set up a one world government and one world economy that will be used by the man of sin and the son of perdition, the Antichrist, who has been identified in chapter 13 of the book of Revelation. And there's no best way to reduce world population than instigating wars that will reduce the global population to 500 million, as indicated in the Georgia Guidestone, that probably it gives the best prophetic view of what the world will be like if the 2030 agenda becomes fully implemented. The world population will reduce to a mere 500 million instead of 7 billion, instead of 8 billion. So is Agenda 2030 on course? I would say that the steps have been taken, and in some cases they are far advanced, but the most wicked part of it are not yet implemented. And so as they are waiting to implement that, as Lucifer and his agents are aware that time is up, you have to prepare as a believer and accept the Lord as your Savior and prepare for that time, because that time, a time is coming where it will be the Jacob's trouble. It will be a period of tribulation. And you will be sorry if at that time believers have been taken away from the scene, and the Antichrist and his agents are doing the bidding of Lucifer to do as much as possible to take millions, even billions to hell. Accept the Lord as your Savior. Time is up. Agenda 2030 is on course. Lucifer and his agents know their time is up, and they are going to do so many horrible things before 2030. Thank you for this message.